listeners, if you hear any crazy boom and bass.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah.
No, nigga, you gonna lose.
Yeah.
Right.
A decade.
Yeah. Because you're constantly reaching for who you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
It could be tough to find any foundation.
That's so deep. I'm sorry, that is so deep.
It gets people to trip a little bit. It's nuts,
Wow.
man. And you have to. We make plans.
And God laughs.
God laughs.
Necessary with Tifani.
You know the saying, what's it called? God, was it man plans and God laughs or something like that? Give me an example of a situation where it's like, oh, like you had your intentions or whatever, and then it's like it flipped, but you actually did need like the opposite to happen for you to realize, like, I needed that experience because I learned this about myself, or I became a better person, or whatever.
That's a good question. I guess the biggest one of those type of experiences for me is when I did American Idol.
Oh.
Honestly. Because I had sworn I would never do one of those shows.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not doing that nonsense. And I'd honestly tried to do the 4 before that, the one that Diddy and all them did, and it was a terrible experience. I don't even have a problem saying that. They know it. It was terrible.
Why? You know what I mean? It was just a horrible production. They treated us like crap.
Mm-hmm.
It was just not good. You know what I mean? And I swore after that, I'm definitely never doing none of this again. But then Idol hits me up a couple years later. They begged me pretty much to come in and do it. So I show up. It's Lionel and Katy Perry and Luke, the whole thing. It was really like the whole thing. I kill it. Whew. Blow them away. You know what I mean? Like, really, it was an American Idol moment.
Yeah.
I get the golden ticket. You're going to Hollywood, the whole thing. And it was, what's wild is, it was today. It was November 8th that year. It was my birthday weekend, I kid you not. Wow, see? Wow. But anyway. Get the golden ticket, the whole 9. I remember crying, the whole thing. I walk out, I'm crying, yada yada. I call my dad. It's wild. They never asked me to do it. They never asked me to come and actually do the show. They actually called me and they were like, I'm sorry, we actually decided not to have you. And it was the first time I have ever felt rejection like that from something. I've never had stage fright. I've never cared, people clap or not. But that was the first time I ever felt robbed, or I ever felt like, man, like, dang, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, but then I don't know, something flipped in me that got me back to performing. Like a week or 2 after that, I ran into my now business manager and partner, who's my best friend and brother, who literally got me out of my shell. At the time I did American Idol, I wasn't really writing, I wasn't really even making music, I was in a very, very dark place. I probably would not have been a very good candidate on the show, considering all of the nonsense we were going through in my life with my dad at that point. When I really when I got past the initial phase of being, depressed about even that, like, oh, another thing. Because, that high of being like, man, I told my grandparents, they all send me this video, everyone's waiting to watch, and then the show comes out and they're like, where you at, dog? And it's like, man, and then having to explain, it was a very tough year or 2 even after that still, but then it led to literally where I am now. The connections I made after not doing that show, because that show would have locked me in.
True.
It ties you to a record deal, all that. It's just because I had to think I wouldn't have made it far, come on. But also knowing who I am, it's like, that's not me, man. I'm not a cover singer for one. I don't want to be known as a cover singer. It's just so, again, I guess that's why it's something that I wanted to happen that didn't happen, that ended up being a better thing, is that I didn't end up on that show. I have now forged lifelong relationships in the people I perform with, the instrumentalists I've met, and my core group of people that have become family. And knowing the things that we have in the works will trump anything American Idol could have done for me.
Wow.
So, again, fortunate. fortunate. You have to take the good and the bad, especially in this business, especially out here in this place. The ups and downs, man, we'll staying in that middle ground will help.
I wish sometimes it was easy to stay in that middle.
Oh, it's not. It's not easy. Dang. It's accepting that it's not easy will begin to make it a little easier.
True.
But you got to move forward as best you can, no matter what.
Yeah.
You must. Because we all need you to do that.
Yeah. We could end right there. But we're not. If there is, what's the latest conversation that you've had, business-wise or personally, that has like been sitting with you?
Another really good question. I don't necessarily think it's something I've talked to with anyone personally, but I'm going to bring up John D. Rockefeller again, because I have been listening to this podcast that is solely about the letters that he wrote to his son. And we're talking from the time he was a 35-year-old man to a 90-something-year-old man. Wow. There's these letters he's writing to his son, explaining to his son who he is. And the gems that are in this book and the way that he's talking to his son and explaining things in detail and giving him these king, like, war type, just gold mines worth of knowledge and just things, again, I wish my dad would have left me, I would say have been the most influential pieces of literature or lectures or anything to me lately. Because it being from a father to a son, someone we know is so successful, whatever you think about the Rockefellers or not, you know what I mean? But when I hear this guy's story, just him talking to his son, it's hard.
This is a podcast.
It's a podcast, but they're reading his letters.
Oh,
so it's amazing. You're hearing firsthand him talking to his son. And all of it, again, the basis of it is believing in oneself. So he's telling his son things like, stay away from drifters, essentially, number one. There's a reason why certain people win. And the common denominator between all of the people that we look up to is the belief they have in oneself and their willingness to sacrifice the everyday folly that we all get so obsessed with that keep us from winning. Hit me hard. And the other big thing I took from, because I still have a couple, it's still an hour left in this, but so far, the other thing I've really taken from it that I attribute already into my daily life is being clear about what you want to do. Setting that intention, write it down, make that plan.
Yeah.
Really do it. It's not cliche, and be as detailed and believe it. Whatever that is that you want to do. Write that down, plot it out, and then go for it.
Yeah.
What is in your head does not matter. It is action that people gravitate to. It's action that people buy into, and it is only action that will get you to where you want to go. And I'm on my bike, I'm listening to this, and I'm like, I ain't stopping. I need 15 of these things today. Then I'm passed out on the sidewalk, but I'm thinking to myself, man, if I apply this to everything I'm doing, there's no way I don't get to at least somewhere close to where I want to go. And then also taking from it the example setting side of it, man. This man put pen to paper to make sure his son had these values, at the very least, to look back to and read. Whether he ingested them or not, he put the time in to make these things, and you can buy this book, I guess, for his son to get to where he believed his son could get. And the other beauty about it was he tells his son throughout it constantly, I'm only giving you the blueprint. Infuse you into this blueprint. Infuse as much of yourself into this blueprint that I've set, and you will achieve whatever it is that you want, and you will be great at it. So that's those 3 or 4 points have really been the things that have resonated with me a lot, and that's been over the last maybe 4 or 5 days. And it's already been like just things that click. They tell you, the gurus will tell you whenever you start like nodding your head, or you'll feel when something just sits right with you. Yeah. And there are just things within these pamphlets and these things I've read by just John D. Rockefeller himself as a father and businessman that have just hit me right here, because they're all things I wish my dad would have learned.
Yeah.
And had been able to teach me.
Yeah.
But can't look back, because now I know my son will have these things. My daughters will have these things. And they'll be empires. They will be masters of their universes, for sure. Because that's what we're here for, man. Stake your claim, take it, and just, be kind and be generous. But don't let nobody walk over you, period.
And that's how you win.
Non-negotiable.
Period.
Not even a thought. Let's move to top 2. Let me think. Serious or fun? Let's go with fun. Top 2. I can't limit you to just albums. So, albums, books, films, publications of any sorts. What are your top 2? I guess maybe past favorites or current favorites for you right now.
Let's see. I'm gonna try to really do this for the first time in early stuff. Top 2 movies. Mo Better Blues. And Twister.
Really?
The score in Twister. I'm telling you, I know the whole thing.
How did you remember this?
One of my favorite melodic lines of all time is in that movie, so it will always be in my top. Top 2 albums? Definitely The Night Fly by Donald Fagen, without a doubt, and Caravan of Dreams by Michael Sembello. And that's probably number 1. No, that is number 1. Caravan of Dreams by Michael Sembello is hands down my favorite album I think ever made.
Why?
It's just amazing to me. Every song on that album has something I just absolutely love. And it's one of those albums that I can just put on and listen to.
Yeah.
And there aren't many of that for me. The 2 I named are 2 of the 3, and if I could add an honorary 3rd in there, it would be Hopes and Dreams by the band Keane. Have you heard about it? Why don't we go talk about it somewhere only we know? It got me through high school. That whole album, top to bottom. Amazing.
I feel like your whole life is like very novel. Like it's everyone's life is a story, but yours, it feels like a musical. It feels like a drama. It feels like a sports film. Like
it's really I've never been conceited enough to think to myself, man, my life could be a movie. But as of late, I've realized it could be a play at the very least. Because there's so much music involved. There is so much movement. There are some
really incredible characters that I've been fortunate enough to meet, man. My 2 favorite places to visit. Paris. Because Paris.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
What did you eat out there? When I went...
Everything.
I had so lame. I just remember eating a lot of pizza. And I'm like, why am I doing this?
Everything. But, everything from the crepes to...
Oh, the crepes, macaroons.
Oh my gosh. Whatever was on the street.
Yeah.
We ate. My per diem went to food in Paris. You know what I mean? I tried to have it all. And I was fortunate enough to have some pretty incredible liaisons while I'd be there. You know what I mean? So I got to really experience the cities. I'd get in trouble sometimes because I'm like, man, I'm not waiting in the hotel all day. I'm going to hop on this train. I'm going to go see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I love meeting people. And North Carolina, Raleigh would be my number 2. Because a lot of who I am is Raleigh, North Carolina. A lot of who I am as a songwriter, a lot of who I am as a man was instilled in me in North Carolina. There's a lot of country boy in me. You get a lot of that southern down home charm, but I will beat you up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially if you mess with my family. And you don't want my mouth to get to running in your direction because
you won't be able to handle it.
Yeah.
And I take that and I attribute that to my uncles and the men I was fortunate enough to grow up around in my time in Raleigh. That has helped me exponentially as a man, as a communicator, as a leader, Thank God for Raleigh, North Carolina.
Shout out Raleigh.
Oh yeah, we're going to do a lot for Raleigh. I'm so happy what's going on for the city. It's grown so much, man. And everyone should visit. Everyone should visit Raleigh. Downtown Raleigh is amazing now. Durham, Wake Forest, Charlotte, obviously.
I want to go out there.
You'd love it. You should come with me.
Yeah.
What I'm really planning on doing is doing like a songwriting retreat, invite only, because it's only going to be my peeps, but to come out and really enjoy Raleigh with me, and we make whatever we make.
With dirt bikes.
Oh yeah, everything. No, the property will be serious. There'll be plenty of toys, plenty of things for us to enjoy. I would love to introduce some psychedelics in there, maybe. Get people to trip a little bit, really get into some of those deep parts of your psyche and see what happens. Because that's definitely another field I've been fortunate enough to get into as well. Something else, again, to piggyback again, I probably wouldn't have been able to get involved in if I was locked into something, say, an American Idol or a more corporate type of gig. I wouldn't be as flexible to do, again, all the things I like to do, which sometimes is a little bit of shroom.
Shroom it up.
I love it. I love it. Responsibly.
Yeah.
So I guess, top two drugs of recreation would definitely be the Mary Jane and mushrooms. I love those. We can add those to the list.
I love the pivot. Top two, with that, what would you say are your top two best mental health practices? That after you do this, you're like on 10 again and you feel like...
Wow. Breathe. I know it's cliche, but the gift of a well-taken...
Like, what were we even talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the other for me, which is also attributed to breathing, is something physical. Get out and run.
Yeah.
Get out and walk. Get out and just do something that gets the blood pumping, that gets the air going. And that also takes your mind off of being still. You know what I mean? Because I know stillness is great too, but something about being human, I feel like we need to be moving.
Yeah.
Especially in this time we're in. So I think the balance of both are, in tandem. A good mental health practice, and attribute that to all of the other great tidbits I've given you now. You should be a pretty very well-rounded individual.
I'm thrilled. I'm like, okay.
But those help me. Those really help me. Breathing, whether that's meditating or whatever it is, but breathing is the essential part of it. I think what helps, what hinders people meditating is you get lost in the meditating part when you're supposed to be focusing on what? You're breathing. So I just tell people, breathe. We do an incredible warm-up in the choir with the people I've been to play with. Shout out to my boy David, who's an incredible conductor who teaches us these things. Where the warm-up is really to get you centered. But you're singing, so you're activating, your throat, you're opening everything up. So if you're a singer, and if you want to become a better meditator, incorporate some of those deep breathing chants into your vocal warm-up routines, and you'll realize not only are you feeling good, but even your voice is naturally more open. You're singing naturally from your diaphragm now because it's activated, it's open. So there is a almost molecular... there's something that happens when we breathing right. It cures diseases. There's something about breathing.
I did not know that. With breathing?
I have learned through a lot of research that I've done on cancer recently that breathing is an essential part to the healing process.
Whoa.
And, naturally, in any part of your health, breathing will save you. It will add decades to your life.
As you're saying this, I'm like...
Well, think about it now, consciously.
You realize, wow, when was the last time I took some deep breaths?
That part, because I realize sometimes I'm holding my breath just in thought or whatever.
Think about what that's doing to your brain. Trip me out. So now, when I'm in those moments, I am trying to create that. You wake up, do 10 gladiator breaths a day to naturally just get your breath going. Show your body where it's breathing from early, right when you wake up in the morning. This is a part of my new morning routine. You wake up, 10 gladiator breaths. That's 10 breath. Activate that. Get that going. And it's like you're active. So before your workout, get those breaths in. You know what I mean?
Swimmers do this. You'll notice people that can swim or hold their breath for a long time underwater, they're all here with it. They can naturally get that going. incredible meditators, those are the practices that do. You know, if you're hip to Bashar or any of those people that are channeled, when they slip into it, it's all a breath. You know, and that there's a lot about breathing we've never been taught that would save a lot of lives. But I don't come for me, please, because I'm just keeping it real. But yeah, breathe. Get that bad energy out. Let that good energy in. Thank the universe for it. Thank the trees. Know that it's nourishing your lungs. Know that you need it. Give that love. That will help you a lot.
Go home and breathe right now.
Breathe. Every time you eat something, every time you drink something, whenever you have an experience that you want to remember.
Oh, because that helps you to be present.
Take it in.
Okay.
Take it in. I do that all the time. Concerts, when I'm with my kids, whenever I'm like, let me really be here right now. When I'm taking pictures, and this could be controversial, but snipers, they do it too.
Breathe.
When you're lining that shot up, when you need that thing to be right, they tell you
Wow.
let that thing go.
You know what I mean? And that's life.
To finish up top two pieces of advice that have really, I wouldn't say saved your ass, but really just like, you know what? It's a good thing I heard that, and it can even be advice you told yourself.
Let me see. Two top pieces of advice. One for sure. Handle your paperwork. That has saved my life.
Okay.
Having my business set up correct early has allowed me to do everything I do now. Being pretty much grandfathered into my own distribution, my own all that, knowing my copyrights, knowing my publishing, all of that has allowed me to be the independent artist that I am now. And then being generous, I would say, is my second piece of advice.
I love that.
Be generous, man, and do it because you're generous. You know, but Cat Williams said on an interview very recently as well that there is something rewarding in being generous and kind to people. The universe, God, Allah, whoever it is that you pray to, will send that back to you. And that's something I've always practiced. You know what I mean? I give. I can't help it. Almost to a fault to myself, but I know and believe, especially if it's monetary things, it's coming back.
Yeah.
It's coming back tenfold. Yeah, man, here's your lunch. Hey, man, what do you need? What do you need?
And I feel it's a great practice of abundance, because when, people want to be, when people want to have abundance or be abundant, you have to get in the motion of lending out. Like, not where it's like, oh, you have none for yourself.
Right.
But it's like, you want to be abundant, you want to feel like you have a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Get in the practice of giving away.
Period. One of my favorite affirmations is, I have a lot to give. I am abundant. I am so abundant, I can share. I have wealth to spare.
Wow.
I am here to share. I am accumulating this wealth to help the well-being of others and myself.
Yeah.
And that's how I live, man. That's what I do. My family comes first, and I help anyone I can, especially if you're close to me. If I know you need something, chances are I'm going to make that happen for you. If it's in my power to do it, man. It just has always felt like the right thing to do. People are always like, oh, you didn't have to do that, or, that's too much money, or blah, 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 blah. I'm just like, man, I don't care. People, and I know that's hard for people to be like, how can you just not care about money and stuff like that? It's like, yeah, I came from money. I have not had no money. You know what I mean? I've been on all sides of the spectrum. To be now, it's like, I have a good relationship with this thing.
Yeah.
We got a good thing going. Yeah. So I'm going to share that with you in hopes that, you can get a little bit of this luck on your side. Because it does come back, and it comes back exponentially, for real. And it works on the other side too. If you don't do no giving, you ain't gonna get nothing.
That part. Give what you want.
A lot of stingy people
are alone. right now. A lot of people who were up ain't up because they didn't help nobody. And that is real. It is no coincidence that the people who are at the tip top are known through philanthropy, through whatever. They give and it comes back. Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, all these people practice that. You know, and even if it is just for a business sense, you better have some type of practice where you're giving.
True.
Because, like I said, if you're not giving, you won't receive.
Yeah.
You know, so.
You ain't giving, you ain't getting.
Period. And that's the double truth.
Let's move into essence. What do you love most about yourself? Talk your shit, boy.
What do I love most about myself? My resilience. I am not jaded. I don't treat people like shit because I've been treated like shit. Period. I don't project on people. I don't do that. I
Genuinely am a believer in you don't know what people are going through. So why would I compound your issues with my problem? And I don't put my weight on other people. And not to say that I hold things in, don't do that, but I don't lean on people in that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if I had to pick something, you know, I would say my resilience comes from that. You know, being able to shake things off, being able to keep rolling, being able to take incredibly things that would kill other people.
Wow.
Things that would be completely traumatic and other people probably couldn't handle. I'm glad that nothing has broken me yet. And it's only made me stronger.
Yeah.
And it's only put me in position to help more people, which is all I want to do. So that's why I thank the Lord all the time. I could be upset. We talk about it, like I said, it's my nigga. But I'm thankful. I'm thankful for all of it.
Yeah.
I really am. You know, I really am. So, and I get that from my mom. I truly do. Resilience, without a doubt.
I feel like that's such a double-edged sword where it's like, to be resilient is so amazing, but it's like, but the crap you had to go through to become resilient is a whole nother thing.
Yeah. Well, again, to quote my man Rockefeller, you don't make it up the hill without climbing. It's just, you know, there's no way you can get there without going through something, you know? And if you never put yourself in position to fail, you'll never succeed. And that's just real, man. And that's in all things, you know, all things.
Yeah. Thank you. I want to really say thank you for just being so transparent and really expounding on, like, why your answer is your answer.
Hey.
This is
Of course.
soul food. If for no one else, it's soul food for me.
Well, I'm happy to do it.
I'm very grateful for this.
Of course. Anything for you.
Let's see. I think you may have answered this, but you can be creative and answer it a different way. But what life lesson did you have to learn the hard way?
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Oh my God. That's
You
so
know,
true.
like, for real, man. Have a lot of things. Have options. Give yourself options. You know, give yourself a lot of things you can do that support the one thing you would be as singularly focused on. And what you'll learn, I've learned at the very least, is it can only help your passion. Is if you are allowing yourself to grow in all directions.
True.
You know, God, I wish I'd have modeled more. I wish I'd have done more plays when I was younger. I wish I'd have done theater in school, in high school. I wish I'd have had a little bit more of that under my belt, considering these are the things I love to do now.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You know, be focused, be driven, have
I think
passion.
that's what gets people where it's
Yeah.
like they say don't be a jack of all trades, a master of none. But then
Right.
it's like, but when you do focus on that one thing, and I will say, in being transparent, I was thinking about that the other day as far as like, man, I wish I didn't like put, to me, what felt like a decade, it probably was a decade, putting a decade into music solely only wanting to be a songwriter.
Yeah.
And then towards the tail end of that, it's just like, well, I guess you got to be the face of your voice now. And then the birth of Tifani Sage happens. It's like, but then on the flip, it's like, okay, well, if I'd only given, say, 2-3 years of wanting to be a songwriter, and then, okay, well, let me try to be an artist, maybe I wouldn't have been so developed and, you know, as I am now. But damn it, a decade.
Yeah. That's also why
you got to do. It really is imperative you do your best not to look backwards.
That, and I've never been a regretful person.
Yeah.
But I don't know what was happening. I don't know if it's, what do they say, retrograde or whatever the fuck. But I was just like, I've never been a regretful person because I always like live every day to the fullest to how my mood is feeling. But it's like, man, there are some things I would have done different.
Oh yeah, you know, hindsight, man. Hindsight.
Ooh.
You know, but it's a natural thing as well, and that's where not dwelling becomes what will help you. Feel those feelings in those moments. You know, we all have things we wish we could have done. We wish we'd have done different. It's not letting yourself be defeated in the present by your
misdealings in the past.
Yeah.
And that's something I had to learn too. It's like, yeah, man, such and such didn't happen. So what? Look at all the stuff that did.
Ooh.
Look at all the stuff we're doing. Look at all the stuff we've done.
Yeah.
So what that didn't happen? Who's to say that we'd be where we are if that happened?
That's true. Gratitude always saves the day.
Every time.
It does.
Every time. Because we are fortunate. We woke up today.
Yeah.
We are chasing our dreams. We are given the opportunity to fail. And that's tough for people to hear because no one wants to fail.
Yeah.
We all just want to win. We all just want to win. Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah.
No, nigga, you gonna lose
Yeah.
a couple times.
Right.
You have to. It builds character. And stay away from people that offer you quick validation, whether that's money, whether that's admiration, whether that's anything. You know, stay away from those people. Just stay away from them. No, stay away from them. You know, instantly.
The people you meet, who you need to stay away from.
Expound on the quick validation. I feel like I've never heard that before. The quick validation. Why are they doing that?
Stay away from, because they're using you as a means for their success or their happiness or their, people will be quick to make you feel good if they need you to make them feel good at some point. Or people will be quick to throw you some money if they're going to tax you for it. Nothing like that comes without some sort of price. So I would, again, stay away from anything quick, especially if it's attributed to your passion. Now, I'm not saying if someone comes to you and it's like, don't turn down an opportunity. But that's where following your heart and trusting your natural awareness and,
your discernment on the people you deal with. Because there are people, relationships, love relationships, a quick admiration is the same thing. It's like, I love you today. I want you today. I'm all up on you today because I'm at some point going to need you to do something for me. I'm going to need you to reciprocate this in a way that is needing and not necessarily I desire you. I am actually quite depressed.
Yeah.
Or I'm actually, it's just stay away from anyone that may not have your best interest at heart because you always know. We always know.
Wow.
Every time I felt a way about someone, giving them a chance, and they proved themselves to be exactly who I thought they were, I have said, bro, we knew this was going to happen. How can we be mad?
Yeah.
So now it's like at a moment I get my spidey senses start tingling.
You're over here now.
Stay away. Yeah.
You bring me a good business deal? Okay. But anything other than that, and even that, you have to vet thoroughly. Don't just wind up in a situation because, you're getting promised something such and such. Everybody's got a whole lot they can give you before they've given it to you. Until that check's in your hand, until that invoice is in your email, until, that ring is on your finger, Don't give it up too quick.
Yeah. I feel like it's hard to, I guess, to any person, especially someone who's been trying hard at something, and then it's like, oh, I think I'm finally gonna get it, and then it's like, nah.
I don't think this next one was Rockefeller, but I read somewhere or heard somewhere that it's like, not having,
there really can't be an end game. There really can't be an end goal for where you want to be or where you want to go. Because that's what happens. We see these people, they reach where they thought they wanted to be and realize nothing's changed.
Yeah.
I've made all this money, I've done all these things, but I'm still, in my heart, feel like something's missing. And I, in my, studies and in my heart, feel like usually that thing that's missing is you.
Wow.
You're a shell of yourself.
You're just a shell.
But then, okay, you accomplished what you thought you wanted. I feel like maybe that was a part of you, though, because you wanted that. But maybe you've evolved, and it's like,
evolution.
But why am I...
It's like a snake shedding its skin.
Yeah.
That is a part of you, but it's not a part of you anymore. It's
Let it go.
You gotta let it go.
Let it
you really
go.
do. You gotta let it go. And when it's parts of yourself that you love, when it's parts of yourself that you like, or that you liked, and had to realize that it wasn't bringing you very good results anymore, it's just like letting go of a lover or a friend. It is the same exact thing, letting go of pieces of yourself. But once you have evolved, you only do yourself a disservice by reverting back to... Because you're not reverting to your old self. You're pretending to be your past self. Because you've evolved, you've changed, but you're choosing now to act like that person you don't want to act like no more, like that friend you let go, like that lover who has influenced your actions for years. Y'all ain't together no more, but you still... wearing that shirt, you still saying those phrases, you're still doing those things because that's just where you're comfortable being. No. Now you are wearing a mask, and nothing good will come from that. Yeah. Nothing fulfilling will come from that.
That's true.
The universe can't give you what you want if it don't know who you are.
Ooh.
If you are just an amalgamation of all these people and all these places you've been and all these things, because you're constantly reaching for who you want to be, it could be tough to find any foundation. So that's why,
That's so deep. I'm sorry, that is so deep.
This human experience is nuts, man. It's nuts, man. But it can really be beautiful if you allow yourself to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Just live, just have fun. Don't hurt yourself or anybody else. You'll be all right.
Why does love hurt? Or why do we hurt? I don't know if it's traumatic, whatever, or just people mind fucked or something, but it's like, why do we think we have to hurt ourselves? And I guess not give ourselves a full cup of whatever it is because of the other person.
I think the easy answer is we're human. That's why, you love a sad song. You love a sad song. You feel a sad song. But when Pharrell Happy comes on, who cares? But tell me I'm the other side. Come on, everyone's crying and all that because you feel that angst, you feel that anger, you feel that pain. It's hard to feel happiness. I'm happy. It's hard for people to feel that. That's why people self-sabotage. That's why people ruin good relationships. It's like, things are going too good. Now I have to be a good person. Now I have to find things that are actually good for me because I no longer have to fill these gaps up with bad stuff.
Yeah.
With escapism. But then it's like, well, what are those things?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm just going to go back over. I'd rather deal with the pain. I'd rather be in this toxic relationship because this is really scary because I'm happy. I don't want to lose this, but I also don't know how to cultivate it. And I think that's a lot of what our society, our generation has dealt with is we just want to feel something. All day long we're distracted. All day long we're plugged in and we're forced to take on all this. We just want to feel something. And more time often than that, it's something that hurts. People love touching the fires. Ooh, ooh. Eventually, you're just laying your hand on it. Now you're just literally, you're just hurting yourself.
Yeah, and then you become a very distorted version of yourself.
And that's all you know.
That the next person has to experience.
Yeah. And now everyone's so messed up. It's just this melting pot of we're just all traumatized, trauma bonding. I'll have no part of that for 200, Alex.
What? Some good ones. Let me see this. What are some gems that fatherhood taught you about yourself?
Man, fatherhood has taught me how patient I am. I tell you that. You know what I'm saying? It has definitely showed I'm much more patient than I thought. And of course with my kids, but with having to deal with everything else, especially in my particular situation, is having to take on a lot of personalities and deal with a lot of people. You know what I mean? And having to have empathy for them. Having to show people grace.
I feel like I can do better in that department as far as showing empathy.
Because a lot of people aren't empathetic. And it sucks to be an empath and have to deal with people that aren't empathetic. It's a very tough thing. Very, very tough thing.
You know, I think I can do better because I feel like I approach things of, well, I did the work of, I don't know, for example, being responsible. So when this person tells me their sob story and it's because they weren't responsible,
right.
In my head it's like, well, I did the work. So, and you seem like a functional human being.
Yeah.
Shame on you. Not I don't say shame on you, but it's like, well, get your stuff together. Yeah. But it's just like, you know.
I see, it depends. Because I'm with you on that. You know, if it's someone that just seems to constantly be making the same thing, you keep putting yourself in this position, I don't have any more advice for you. Right. Period. There's nothing else I can tell you. Don't call me again with this BS. And I've told people that. I don't want to hear about how much you hate your girlfriend again. I don't care. Because you're going home to her tonight. And you're gonna come back and you're gonna be complaining about her tomorrow. So just, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. There's nothing I can tell you. Leave her. Leave him.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do? Leave.
Yeah.
And again, you know, people. We're not getting into like, you know, domestic abuse or anything like that. This is just purely when you know shit is wrong, and you have the power to change it.
Yeah,
change it.
But you don't.
You know, there's a reason why people. And it's just fear of being alone, fear of, I think a lot of people are scared they may not ever meet anyone again, which is nuts.
Oh, you just reminded me, back to that point when, I hope I can say it correctly, but it was when you said don't say yes to things quickly. I think also too it's because of the mindset of scarcity.
Without a doubt, which is ridiculous.
And when you said, you know, you're not saying don't say no to opportunities, but vet it out a little more.
Yeah.
And if, I guess, the person holding the opportunity gets frustrated, it's like, well, that's a little sign. Why is this person like acting like I need to make the decision now?
Yeah. You know, everything comes down to discernment and trusting your gut.
Yeah.
Man, at the end of the day, and sticking to your boundaries. It's as simple as that. Like, it really, think about how simple your life would be if you did those things.
And then do people want simple? Because some people equate simple to be boring.
And I just think those people are lying to themselves a little bit, to a certain extent. Because is it simple is boring, or are you addicted to a thrill?
Oh shoot! Yeah.
I mean, it is an addiction. Constantly needing to be enticed, constantly needing to be, is also an addiction. It also is a form of escapism. You should be able to sit with yourself. You should be able to enjoy stillness. You should, you know. But again, like me, I love being moving. I love it.
I was gonna say, like,
but there is that balance. You do need. I do spend a lot of time chilling.
Balance.
You know, taking time for myself, there really has to be a balance. And again, it's per individual. You have to find your flow. You have to find your rhythm. Your circadian rhythm is different than anyone. It's just, you have to find it. And it's easy to do, but it does take intention and dedicated action and discipline. For these things to be so integrated into your daily life that you're not thinking about it anymore. Yeah. It's just your routine. You're just naturally becoming the best version of you. Like, it's just as simple. It's just, I say it all the time because that's really what it is, you know. And the more of us who are actively on that train, the better the world will be.
True.
It's just, if everyone's asking for the answer, how do we fix this? How do we fix this? Well, become a better person.
That part. I'll get it.
Thank you.
Yeah. On to the fun stuff. I'm telling you, this has to probably be like part 2, part 3s of this.
I love it.
I'm loving this. What do you take the most care of on you?
Like, my physical body?
Your hair, or it could be like, I don't want to give answers, but like, could be your mind, but...
My mind.
Your mind?
That's actually, yeah, I would say.
Same.
Everything else for me is pretty natural.
Yeah. Do you prefer to eat out or cook in?
I love both. I love both equally. I love cooking.
I feel like you can cook.
I love cooking, but I love being out. I love enjoying a good meal. I love the ambiance. I love finding a new, good restaurant. And I'm not, bougie all the time. I love, I love being out.
I do love, finding good restaurants, eating new things, finding new recipes to cook for myself. But I can't pick one over the other. Trying not to go out as much, for sure.
Same.
But,
Yeah.
got to sometimes.
Yeah. Do you sleep with the TV on or music on, or are you like silence?
Depends. It depends. If it's been a day where I've been working on music a lot, probably silence.
Okay.
It used to be movie most of the time, predominantly, but as of late, with the little one, she's got my sleep schedule all nuts, and when she goes to sleep, I go to sleep.
Yeah.
So it's usually lights out, we sleep, maybe some sleep sounds or something, but I'm a pretty easy sleeper. I'm not a light sleeper, but I'm not like a super heavy sleeper either. Because I get into my dreams and then I'm good. I'm a lucid dreamer, so sleeping for me is a lot different.
I want to get into that. My brother's really good at it.
Yeah.
But
I love it.
I think for me, it's like when it's time to, it's like, oh no, I'm tired. Like, I'll do it tomorrow. What's the trick though? So like, let's just say we're in, I guess, like the REM sleep or whatever. How do you begin lucid dreaming?
I mean, it really starts before that.
Okay.
Think about it like a meditation. When it's time for you to go to sleep and you're actually in the process of laying down, take a minute, breathe, and set your intention for where you want to go in your dream.
Oh.
And as you fall asleep, focus on it. The trick is, when you awaken your dream, you have to realize you're dreaming.
Wait, sorry, when you awake in your dream.
Like when it's like, because there's always something when you're dreaming that's like.
Yeah.
That's when you have to, that's the muscle you have to work on, is in that moment you say, I'm here. And now you can do anything. So my test is, whenever that moment comes, and now it's second nature for me. I wake up, I know I'm dreaming. You know what I mean? But it was like, whenever that moment would come, I would say, this is a dream. And I would just fly.
Wow.
Like I would try to be the Matrix. I would try to be the Neo. And eventually, I did it. And I flew around for like 2 hours. Just flew.
Damn.
Like Superman flying. You know what I mean?
How did it feel?
And amazing. You're flying.
Yeah.
It's like, it is the Matrix. Like, it is a trippy thing. And, people, you say what you want, look this up. Lucid dreaming is real. And what you're supposed to do to help you get better at it, which I'm trying to get better at, is journaling them. The more you journal your lucid dreams, the better you'll get at it.
So when you wake up in real life, write it.
Write it down. Or draw it. The best lucid dreamers wake up and they'll draw what they saw. And not like, it doesn't have to be full details, but just draw whatever you remember from these things, and your brain will naturally remember. So now my dream world is nuts, because it's a pure blend of my life in North Carolina and my life here. And I have points in my dreams, I have things in them like Inception, where you'll realize, like,
I love that
I'm
movie.
dreaming.
Yeah.
And then you can literally do whatever you want. And a lot of people, and a lot of the greatest musicians, especially in the classical time, would use lucid dreaming to teach themselves theory. You can learn, you can teach yourself things. I know when I've lucid dreamed, when I'll get to my piano, and I'll just be better. Like, I don't remember learning how to do this. Oh, must have, thanks, Dream Me.
Yeah.
I attribute a lot of my therapy to my dreams. It's trippy to think about, but I know. It's just, and you learn. The more you get into lucid dreaming, the gurus in it will tell you, no, that's what dreams are for.
Yeah.
to teach you. There are always things in your dreams that you're supposed to learn. But if you don't know you're dreaming, you're just in there free for all in it. Hey,
True.
But once you realize, oh
yeah,
shit, I'm out here. Let's get it.
Yeah, like they say in real life, anything is possible, but I feel like in the dreams,
no time.
it's really like.
And you wake up and you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Let's do it all again.
Yeah.
But here, we don't have as much freedom because of all of this madness on top of us. So, yeah, Lucid Dreams. It's a killer.
Love it.
Killer practice.
What's your guilty pleasure snack? Or you probably don't have to feel guilty about it, but...
Rainbow sherbet. Raspberry sherbet.
Really?
Yeah, I'll get the pint of that thing every time.
Wow.
It's just, I don't know what it is.
I would never guess that.
Yeah. Because I'm not big on sweets. I'm not a big, but raspberry sherbet?
Mm-hmm.
Gone.
Oh, there's this one that I discovered. I think they're called Alex. It's like honey, lavender, blueberry, something.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
I think I've had that brand. Because they got a quirky little,
Yeah.
There's some good brands out there. If I had to choose, that's my go-to. If I want something sweet, if I know I got some waiting for me at the crib right now.
Oh.
Specifically for being late, so I'm excited about that.
What are you OCD about?
Everything.
Really?
I have OCD. I'm super neat. I need my shit lined up.
Yeah, me too.
If you look at my closet, if you look at my desk, if you look at my crib, you'll see. Oh man, okay, this guy's is obviously touched. But I just like things neat. I just like,
Me too.
I like it to look nice. That's it. And
who do you think you got that from?
Oh, I attribute that incredibly to growing up in hotels and tour life.
Oh.
It's just, that's how everything was. My dad's house was a museum.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was perfect. You know what I mean? So naturally, that's just how my feng shui has always been. I love space. I'm a minimalist by nature anyway, but everything kind of needs its own
little, yeah.
Yeah, it's worth it.
I like that. And with the hotel point, was that so you don't forget anything when you leave? Because I know for me, I don't take the clothes out the suitcase and hang it up because I don't want to forget things.
No, it's more so just the put togetherness of hotels themselves.
Okay.
Everything, the bathroom, everything has its spot, everything's lined up and presented to you in a way that makes it easily accessible. And it's always I believe everything should have a place. I don't discredit anyone that lives in chaos because that's needed too, but I just cannot do it.
Same.
I clean, people are always like, there's your OCD going crazy again. If we're at dinner, I'm aligning the salt shakers and shit.
Okay.
I can't help it.
Let me see. Let me pick two more. What do you want to let go of this year?
That's an interesting question because as of yesterday, I feel like I've let that go.
Oh, okay.
So I'm free right now.
Like a bird.
I would think the last, if I could pick anything, I would say, the last bit of, I guess, how can I say this? The last bit of, not resentment, but, my last bit of contempt I have for my father.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
Considering it's pointless. No. Even. It's only hurt me.
Okay.
And I think that's another reason, that's another thing that when you get to that point, you realize it's I'm the only person that cares about how this has affected me, so why am I letting it affect me anymore?
Yeah.
So if I had to say, that would be it. Because it's, full speed ahead.
Yeah.
Full speed ahead. It's my turn now. And I'm going to do it right. And that's my vow I've made to my family, to not let anything disrupt that anymore.
Yeah.
And that's really the only thing I've got. I don't have many issues. I don't have many complaints. I don't hold grudges. I don't. I'm not that person. But that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Last question, listeners. If you hear any crazy booming bass, it's because someone's up in this piece having a fall. But last question.
We made it this far, though.
I know.
We made it this far.
What would you like to tell your future self, or ask your future self, and what do you feel your future self wants to tell you?
Man, I feel like my future self has been telling me to not worry about not getting where we want to be so quickly lately.
Boy, that's me too.
Legitimately.
Every day.
You know, as a young kid, I wanted to be Chris Brown. I wanted to be, I wanted to, youngest. I wanted to do this.
Yeah.
But now it's like, man, age, all this has no importance to me anymore. I don't care how long, because I have no end goal. I have no end game. I know how I want my life to be. I know how successful I feel I would love to be. And success to me is just my family taken care of. So if I'm able to accomplish that, I did it.
That's so.
And I can always continue to do that.
Yeah.
And that's something that, it means everything to me. So I would say, yeah, I think my future self has been like, bro, you got it. Just do you. Just do you. Stop stressing the end game so much because you want to take care of your family. You know what I mean? That you stress because you want to reach that goal to help people. And my thing is like, no, I do that all the time, bro. You take care of your people. You just want it to be more.
Yeah.
And that can be daunting. And I think, yeah, that's probably what they're saying to each other.
I love that. I feel like with me, my present self to my future self is the whole time thing. I think it's partly because of my father, who has always made me and my brothers very conscious of time. It's just like, and also too, like, I want to have children, and then it's like, what is that going to look like? When is that going to happen? What do I want in order before I have them? And oh my God.
It's like we say, we make plans.
And God laughs. And that's our time, Brian. That's such a full circle. Gosh, I'm so glad you came through.
No, thank you for having me.
I feel like
again, I'm so
much.
Proud of you for this. This is amazing. So glad you're doing this. I think you're an incredible host for this. So keep on rocking.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
We out. Oh, this is